Ivory Coast was considered the Paris, or Abidjan specifically, the Paris of West Africa.
YouTube, that's gonna YouTube it.
Wow. It's amazing construction. Ivorians who fought and died in the First and the Second World War. And this is the main mosque here in Abidjan. Here is artisanal clothes and everything. Wow. It's fancy. Welcome to Ivory Coast, the city of Abidjan. Not the capital. The capital is Yamoussoukro, more to the center of the country. But the largest city, with the business city, where 4 million people, what everything happens here in Ivory Coast. So we are crossing one of the two bridges to the plateau, to the other side, and explore a little bit today. So far, so good here in Abidjan. Even if you have the monuments, stock markets. Ivory Coast was considered the Paris, or Abidjan specifically, the Paris of West Africa. Was one of the most important French colonies in the region, and after the decolonization, when they became independent, they kept quite developed for Western African standards, Abidjan specifically. It's a really nice city. They have the Grand Bassin, which is the old capital, but also like a lagoon beach place, a bunch of resorts. But there was a civil war here, starting in 2002, related to the president trying to stay in power. It's part of one ethnicity. The other ethnicity didn't like it. And yeah, civil war, being very brief and simple. So that affects a lot Abidjan, because there were a lot of expats here, both Europeans and a lot of Lebanese, big Lebanese
population.
How do you say population, but how do you say when they are
Diaspora.
Diaspora, exactly. Because of civil war in Lebanon in the 70s and 80s, there were a lot of refugees from Lebanon. They went to so many different countries in Europe, United States, Australia. There's a big Lebanese community, and here as well. But then with the civil war here, a lot of them, they just left together with a lot of Europeans. But now it's recovering, and you see a lot of construction of new buildings here. So it's becoming this West African powerhouse once again. Para pouco.
There's also a video on it. YouTube, that's gonna YouTube it.
You shouldn't pee on the street. The sign essentially say don't pee on the street, otherwise they're going to film it and put on YouTube to shame you. But we already saw some people peeing on the street. But yeah, at least they have the sign. Hey buddy, you're big and beautiful. Huge stadium, yeah.
Yep.
Probably a football stadium, or I would guess.
Yeah, that's safe.
Yeah, Ivory Coast are pretty big, pretty strong football.
Yeah. Safe overseas. Choice.
Nice, the field looks pretty good. Perfect. So that would be the National Assembly, but again, here is not the capital. I don't know.
There's also no security around it.
No security, yeah.
No one yelling at us not to take photos like in Senegal.
Yeah, like in Senegal, in Dakar, like people, security guys coming after me because I was filming. Not here. But also, long time ago I've been to Yamoussoukro, which is supposed to be the capital. Not much there, but the highest, tallest cathedral in the world. Taller than the St. Peter's Cathedral in the Vatican. It's huge, huge. You tell me why they built that in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the jungle? Never mind. Acho que tem uns turistas vindo E eles estão fazendo escolta desses turistas. Just this palace and pretty cool bridge. If I can. That's the São Paulo Cathedral. It's one of the main attractions here. Obviously, religion today is Sunday, but also as an attraction in Abidjan because it's gorgeous. So this area here, the plateau, it's a very nice area, very pretty. So that's absolutely a must stop if you're visiting Abidjan. And after the mass, maybe you can get inside and visit inside the cathedral. Wow, it's amazing construction. And like in Dakar, this is also a monument for the Ivorians who fought and died in the First and the Second World War, fighting for the French. Because again, they were French colonies, exactly the same with Senegal. So that's common in a lot of African countries that were colonies, whether French colonies or British colonies. There are monuments for them who fought alongside their colonial power at the time, the British or the French mostly. Yep. And right over there, that little fortress over there, that's the French embassy, which is expected, right? And back here is the stadium, the same stadium I showed before. This is the Minister of Agriculture building, and down there you're having like an evangelical cult mass down there. Welcome to the pyramid. So yeah, that's the name of this building, the pyramid, because it looks like a pyramid. And it used to be an office building and caught fire a little bit more than 10 years ago. So now it's essentially abandoned. But apparently they wanted to renovate. They're starting with the painting over there, and they're gonna renovate the place and probably become an office building again. So this is the Financial Markets Authority for the West African Monetary Union. So maybe if you don't know, like in the West Africa, they have a common currency. The same way they have a common currency in most of the European Union, the euro. Here they have the West African franc, and it's like the same currency. So we were in Senegal, and we use exactly the same money that we used in Ivory Coast. So it's very interesting. And over there, that's the central bank here in Ivory Coast. And this is the main mosque here in Abidjan. So Ivory Coast, they have a lot of Muslims, they have a lot of Christians, they have a lot of evangelical Christians. If you add both evangelicals and Catholics, there's more people than the Muslims. But if you separate them, Muslims are a larger group of people. Another view of the mosque, and obviously there are a lot of local religions, ceremonies that they do here as well from the Ivory Coast or the region, and so not just Muslim, Islam and Christianity. So that's common as well. It was we mentioned like voodoo could be considered one of these religions or practices. Yes, she's better than me on that subject. On the, what can I say?
Vocab.
No, her vocabulary is better than mine.
Native English speaker.
So this is essentially the presidential palace here in Abidjan. You can see the nice Ivorian flag there. It's brand new. I know they said the capital is in Yamoussoukro. It is in Yamoussoukro on paper, but it's essentially, in fact, Abidjan is more or less the proper capital. So much so that you see also the National Assembly we saw before, same thing. But a beautiful building. You notice that it's quite empty, the streets here. That's because it's a Sunday. During the weekend, it's a way busier. You're gonna see a lot more people. But since it's Sunday, almost no one on the streets, and that's why the church was so full. And my personal opinion, again, not necessarily it is like that. I'm feeling people here way nicer than people in Dakar, in Senegal. That's my perception. Much more friendlier. They always say good morning and everything, and then they answer, they smile. Again, my perception. Yep, I'm here again. So a little bit of drama history that happens all in that bridge or in this bridge here. To be honest, I don't remember. So it was about 2004, 2005. There was the civil war here, and so there was essentially the national government with the help of the French trying to contain the rebels, and then the Ivorian Air Force tried to bomb the rebels. By mistake, they bombed French troops and killed some French troops. France obviously became very angry, pissed off about that, and they destroyed the whole Ivorian Air Force, essentially. They destroyed all the planes, all the helicopters. So, and then people from Ivory Coast got really angry at the French, and they tried the main airport is over there and it's kind of guarded by the French. There's a French military base here as well. That's the plateau, and this is another part. I think it's this bridge, but again, I'm not sure. You can research a little bit more about that. And then the population tried to storm the French installations here. And then there was they were, I think, crossing this bridge, and then there were some helicopters, French helicopters, shooting at people at this bridge or that other bridge. And I think one of those two against shooting people, so they wouldn't cross and try to storm the French installations, the French military bases.
Ces tirs de mitrailleuses, ce sont des hélicoptères français qui, toute la nuit dernière, ont contenu les milliers de jeunes patriotes qui tentaient de s'emparer de l'aéroport.
Bit of a recent history conflict here in Abidjan, Ivory Coast.
And now it's just a totally normal. Well, there's no one here because it's Sunday.
Yeah, but it's super.
Totally normal.
Yeah, super peaceful. Yeah, very interesting. Look how things improved here. And this is a subway they're saying they're gonna build here, but this sign looks very old. So I'm not sure how advanced are the construction of the metro system in Abidjan here. So now we are on the other side. We were there before. We came here to the other side of the river. So Ivory Coast was the champions of the African Cup in 2023.
Look at his face.
A lot of garbage around here because this is the Marché Trechier. It's a big market around here, and I'm gonna get in. Bonjour, bonjour. Bonjour. Bonjour, monsieur. Bonjour. No fish.
Y'a quoi?
À quoi?
On va pas me filmer.
Ah non, non, j'ai pas tout, non. So the fish.
Is it copper? Ah, yes, yes.
Très joli les fruits.
Ça, le banane conakry.
Banane konaki.
Ça, c'est le basket.
Mhm.
Des ananas. Des pamplemousses. Des papayes solo.
On retourne après par ici. Merci.
Merci.
Voilà, vous allez monter en haut.
Et ça, c'est mango?
Ça, c'est mango.
Mhm. Très bien. Ok. Merci, on retourne après. Comment ça va? Très bien. Ooh, look at the tomatoes. So downstairs was like more food, and here is artisan clothes and everything. Merci, on va retourner après ici. Merci beaucoup. Interesting market here, and that's definitely not a touristic market because we saw very few tourists besides us.
Very excited with it.
Yeah. So definitely better prices than the cave, artisanal, blah blah blah.
You still have to negotiate though. Have one.
Always, yeah. Be careful if this is not a tourist trap, that's for sure. Et c'est tout fait de bois. Ah, c'est pas bois. And this is the name of the market, Trashville. The Sustainable Development Goals. I think they're following the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So, energy, like offer of energy, because a lot of Africa still they don't have electricity, fair work conditions, infrastructure, the innovation and industry policy, reduce inequality, and ville commune durable, sustainable, cities and communes. And the Palais des Sports, like a big gymnasium, like a big sports complex, basketball, volleyball. So this is another center, artisanal center here in the city of Abidjan, Cava. I don't know if it's a tourist trap, but you can come here. Like it's a little bit less overwhelming than the other one. So yeah, there are a lot of more tourists here than the other market. I didn't ask the prices, but it's very well organized, very clean.
They have tour buses coming here.
Yeah, so it's not like overwhelming like the other one, but the other ones are more authentic, so it's up to you. I don't know, I hope you guys can hear me. Also, one important detail about Ivory Coast, it's the largest producer of cocoa on the planet. You know, cocoa beans that you produce chocolate, largest producer in the world. So when they had the civil war in 2002, 3, 4, 5, people were freaking out, like the big corporations, Nestle and everything, they're freaking out because if it gets really serious, the price of cocoa goes way up, and then price of chocolate goes way up. And right now, this is like 2024, the price of cocoa is really high up for different reasons. Sometimes they have diseases in their crops and everything, and it's affecting the price of chocolate. So there might be that the chocolate you're eating right now, whatever country you are now, right now, the cocoa beans came from here, from Ivory Coast. And because of the cocoa prices are so high, it's not just because of that, but could be one of the reasons why Ivory Coast economy, one of the fastest growing economies in the world right now, as of November 2024. So the economy is doing, like, relatively, as an African country, is doing well here. So here's the shopping mall, one of the shopping malls. Do you remember the name? It's a top, like a super luxury bunch of like expensive jewelry and watches. Really nice. Everything you need. Yeah.
And it's aircon, which is very important.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
1 million degrees outside, and we're dying. At least
We are dying, yeah. But it's very nice shopping mall. I'm gonna give you the name after. So yeah, it's interesting. I know a lot of people wouldn't think that in one of the big cities in Africa wouldn't have such a fancy shopping mall, but it
You can
does
almost
have.
always find, I would say.
West Africa at least.
Yeah,
Yeah. South Africa and everything, but yeah, it's fancy. So this is about €8, $8 for a menu for a meal. Crispy chicken, kingfish. Oh, actually, two sandwiches, and no, without a drink, but with fries. That's expensive, to be honest.
For Ivory Coast.
For Ivory Coast,
With
yeah,
a basic salary and stuff.
yeah. Because there are two Ivory Coast and two Abidjans, right? Like the one for the expats, for
Where you get a coffee for $5 or $6 in
Yeah.
the US.
yeah, like essentially U.S. prices or European prices, but a lot for the expats and for the elite here, the local elite. And then there's more the more popular part. Then it's a little bit cheaper, like for the middle lower class. Then it's much more affordable than this. Yeah. Wow. It's fancy. Cigars.
Look at these giraffes.
Giraffe. Oh my god, look at that. That's incredible. So much Nutella. So it's really that, like $8 for a smoothie. Okay, so this mall is the Cap Sud. That's where we were, the very fancy mall. And it's a Marcory neighborhood area. That you have the Novotel, you have the Catlon over there. There is also a Carrefour around here. So this is a very nice area, shopping area in Abidjan. Really cool to visit. If you want to shop for more expensive things, let's say, that's one of the areas. It's really nice here in Abidjan. Also, we didn't go this time, but you have Cocody, which is also very fancy, nice neighborhood. That's like the bar, clubbing area of Abidjan. Very nice to go out, to have coffees. And there's, like Nick just reminded me, a lot of the expat community or live there or go there to eat out. And the American embassy is there, the largest embassy, U.S. embassy in the whole Africa, which shows the importance of Abidjan, Ivory Coast for the United States, and obviously for France as well. But that's it. Again, a short day trip tour for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. And if you have any questions, any comments, just leave it down the comments area. Safe travels.